Hotties love our show. He's romantic and me. We will do this show every Monday. Won't send you on a search, but we gotta say. Scrolls with such as teas. Hotties love the show. Oh, hotties love the show. Well, to see their hotness. Hotties love the show. Hotties love the show. To love our hotties.
We're not talking right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Hotties of a Show, the series where we celebrate the women that completely distract us from the actual storyline. And today, we're stepping into the absolute stacked world of Marvel. Marvel might secretly have one of the greatest collections of attractive women in entertainment history. Comics, cartoons, movies, TV shows. They've been creating legendary crushes for decades. And what makes Marvel different is the variety. You got the deadly assassins, classy, elegant women, chaotic goth girls, sweet, nerdy scientists, sarcastic warriors, mysterious telepaths, and the women that could literally destroy the universe while still looking unbelievably good doing it. And look, we all know superhero costumes help too. Marvel understood presentation. Slow motion entrances, wind blowing for no reason, dramatic lighting, tight leather suits, red hair, blonde hair, white hair, tattoos, capes, everybody looked cool. So today we're talking about some of the most unforgettable hotties in Marvel history. And yes, some of these crushes changed lives. Let's get into it. Let's start with one of the queens of the entire Marvel Universe, Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow herself. Now, physically, Scarlett Johansson looked absolutely unreal in this role. The bright red hair became iconic instantly. Sharp green eyes, confident smirk, athletic figure. She looked like she walked straight out of a comic book, while somehow still feeling believable as a real spy. Then Marvel absolutely knew what they had with her. The black tactical suits became legendary. Every movie somehow found a new way to style Black Widow, and people never got tired of it. Whether it was the curly red hair from Iron Man 2, the shorter blonde hair looking on, or the more serious tactical styles in Winter Soldier, Natasha always stood out visually. And what helped was how Scarlett carried herself. Natasha moved differently than everybody else. Smooth, calm, controlled. She never looked nervous. Even surrounded by aliens, robots, explosions, and literal gods, she always looked composed. That confidence made her even more attractive. Plus, she had that mysterious femme fatale energy. Half the time, you couldn't tell if she was flirting with somebody or setting them up to get punched in the throat. And honestly, Scarlett Johansson's voice helped too. Calm, low, confident, it fit the character perfectly. The hallway fight scene in Iron Man 2 alone created millions of celebrity crushes overnight. And over time, Natasha became more than just a hot spy. Marvel actually gave her emotional depth. Guilt, trauma, loneliness, loyalty. You started seeing the humanity underneath the assassin image. That combination of beauty, danger, and vulnerability made Natasha one of Marvel's all-time greatest crushes. Next we have Emma Frost. Emma Frost was played by January Jones. Emma Frost brought pure, elegant, rich woman energy to Marvel. Played by January Jones, Emma looked like somebody that owned 3 penthouses and judged everybody from all of them. Blonde hair, always perfectly styled, ice blue eyes, sharp cheekbones, pale skin, white outfits. Emma's entire aesthetic screamed luxury. And honestly, the white diamond-themed look made her stand out immediately from every other Marvel woman. She looked cold in the best possible way. Emma also had that dominant, confident energy where she barely even raised her voice because she already knew she controlled the room. And telepathy somehow makes characters feel even hotter because they always act like they know everyone's secrets. Plus, January Jones naturally has that classic old Hollywood beauty to her. Very glamorous, very polished, very intimidating. Emma felt like the type of woman that could insult somebody so elegantly that you'd thank her afterwards. And comic book fans already knew Emma Frost was legendary before the movies even happened. Marvel has always drawn Emma to be stunning, powerful, and intimidating all at once. The diamond form powers only added to it because visually they looked awesome. Emma Frost basically felt like a luxury sports car turned into a person. Next we have Felicia Hardy. Black Cat, played by Felicity Jones. Felicity Hardy, aka Black Cat, has always been one of the most flirtatious energies in Marvel. The white hair alone already made her stand out visually because Marvel always used that silver-white cat brickwear look to make her feel sleek and seductive. Then you had the black leather catsuit, acrobatic movements, playful smirk, and the sarcastic confidence. Yeah, Marvel knew exactly what they were doing with Black Cat. Played by Felicity Jones, Felicity had this classy but mischievous beauty to her. She's the type of character that always looks like she's having fun no matter how dangerous things get. That confidence is attractive. Felicia never really felt scared, even when she's surrounded by chaos and still acts playful and relaxed. And physically, Black Cat was always designed to be one of Marvel's most glamorous women. Long white hair, athletic body, sharp eyes, sleek movements. She's basically Marvel's answer to the beautiful thief archetype. And honestly, Cat Booker's characters almost always become crushes because they mix danger with charm. Next we have Gamora. Gamora is played by Zoe Saldana. Gamora proved that even with green skin, Marvel could still create one of the coolest women in the MCU. Played by Zoe Saldana, Gamora had gorgeous eyes, long dark hair with killer streaks, and this deadly assassin posture where every movement looked smooth and controlled. She looked dangerous immediately, and Zoe Saldana did such a good job that after 5 minutes, your brain completely forgot that she was painted green. Gamora balanced toughness with emotional vulnerability really well, too. She could beat up entire groups of enemies 1 second and then have emotional conversations the next. That balance helped the character feel more human. Also, visually, her outfits looked awesome throughout Guardians of the Galaxy. Leather armor, dark sci-fi aesthetic, glowing space environments around her. Gamora always looked cinematic. And her chemistry with Star-Lord helped a lot because underneath all the sarcasm and fighting, you started seeing softer emotion layers from her character. Gamora felt like somebody that spent her entire life trying to survive, which made her even more interesting than just hot alien assassin. Still though, hot alien assassin definitely helped. Next we have Gwen Stacy. Gwen Stacy was played by Emma Stone. Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy created one of the biggest Spider-Man crushes ever. And honestly, Emma Stone just naturally has this warm glow on camera that makes people instantly like her. As Gwen Stacy, she had blonde hair, bright expressive eyes, freckles, and one of those smiles that automatically made scenes feel happier. She looked approachable. That's what made Gwen different from some of the more glamorous Marvel women. She felt real, like somebody you actually meet in college and instantly develop a crush on. And her personality made her even more lovable. Funny, smart, sarcastic, supportive. The chemistry with Peter Parker felt authentic because Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone genuinely bounced off each other naturally. The flirting scenes worked because they didn't feel overly scripted. Also, Gwen's fashion style during these movies became super popular. Boots, coats, scarves, casually layered outfits. She had this cool artsy college girl aesthetic that perfectly matched early 2010s. Emma Stone's laugh alone probably caused a million crushes. Next we have Jane Foster. Jane Foster is played by the incredible Natalie Portman. Jane Foster brought the smart girl charm to Marvel. Played by Natalie Portman, Jane had this natural beauty that never felt forced. Soft smile, expressive eyes, dark hair, classy style. She looked believable as an actual scientist, while still looking gorgeous on screen. And honestly, Natalie Portman has always had one of those timeless, elegant looks. She doesn't need over-the-top outfits or giant dramatic entrances. She just naturally stands out. Jane felt approachable. That's what made her attractive compared to some of the more flashy Marvel characters. She reacted to Thor the same way normal people would react if a giant space Viking landed on Earth screaming about magic hammers. Confused, but interested. And honestly, the chemistry between Jane and Thor worked because she balanced him out. Thor was loud and dramatic, while Jane was intelligent, grounded, and sarcastic. Plus, once she became Mighty Thor, completely different level. The armor looked incredible on her. Flowing cape, glowing hammer effects, and stronger, more confident personality made Jane way cooler later on. And honestly, seeing Natalie Portman go from scientist to superhero was one of Marvel's best glow-ups. Next we have Jean Grey. Jean Grey was played by Sophie Turner. Jean Grey always had tragic, beautiful energy. Played by Sophie Turner, Jean had striking red hair, pale skin, sharp cheekbones, and those intense emotional eyes that made her look like she was carrying the weight of the universe all the time. And she kind of was. Jean always felt different from other X-Men because she had this emotional sadness surrounding her character. Even when she smiled, it felt temporary. It made her mysterious. And telepath characters always carry themselves differently too. Calm voice, distant expressions, like they're hearing things nobody else can hear. That vibe worked perfectly for Jean. Plus, Sophie Turner naturally has this elegant fantasy movie look that fit the X-Men universe really well. Then once the Phoenix power started taking over, a whole different energy. Suddenly, Jean goes from soft-spoken and emotional to terrifyingly powerful. And the glowing eyes, fiery effects, and darker personality shifts made her even more visually interesting. Jean Grey always felt like beauty mixed with danger. Next, we have Magic. Magic was played by Anya Taylor-Joy. Magic might honestly be one of the biggest internet crush Marvel characters in years. Played by Anya Taylor-Joy, Magic had that dark fantasy goth energy that social media absolutely loves. Blonde hair, pale skin, sharp icy eyes, dark eyeliner, emotionally detached attitude. She looked like she belonged in the Supernatural Metal album cover. And honestly, Anya Taylor-Joy already has one of those most unique faces in Hollywood. Huge expressive eyes, sharp facial structure, and this mysterious, almost otherworldly look that worked perfectly for Magic. Then you had the giant sword, teleportation powers, dark armor, and sarcastic personality. Instant cult favorite energy. Magic also had that dangerous but emotionally damaged vibe that people always get obsessed with online. She barely even needed dialogue sometimes because visually the character already stood out so much. Every scene with Magic felt cool. Next we have Maria Hill. Maria Hill was played by Kobe Smulders. Maria Hill brought serious grown woman energy to Marvel. Played by Kobe Smulders, Maria had dark hair, sharp facial features, confident posture, and that calm, authoritative voice that instantly made her feel believable as a high-level SHIELD agent. She looked professional, and honestly, sometimes confidence and intelligence are more attractive than flashy powers. Marie never tried too hard. She didn't need dramatic entrances or giant emotional speeches. She just carried herself like somebody completely in control. That calm confidence stood out in a universe filled with loud superheroes. Plus, Kobe Smulders naturally has this incredible screen presence. Even standing next to gods and billionaires, Maria still felt important. And visually, the sleek tactic outfits worked really well for her too, because they matched the serious military spy vibe of the character. Maria Hill felt like somebody that could actually exist in the real world. All right, next we have MJ, Michelle Jones Watson, played by Zendaya. Zendaya completely reinvented MJ for a new generation. Instead of the glamorous supermodel vibe from the older Spider-Man movies, this version had awkward humor, dry sarcasm, and introverted cool girl energy. And honestly, people loved it. Zendaya naturally has incredible style and screen presence. Tall frame, expressive eyes, sharp cheekbones, unique voice. She stands out immediately in every scene. And what made her version of MJ attractive was how real she felt. She acted like an actual awkward teenager instead of some perfect fantasy girlfriend. Sarcastic comments, weird observations, the awkward flirting with Peter Parker, it all felt believable. Plus, Zendaya's fashion sense throughout these movies was peak modern cool girl energy. Hoodies, jackets, layered casual outfits, messy curls. She made looking uninterested somehow look attractive. And chemistry with Tom Holland worked because both characters felt nervous and realistic around each other. Next we have Psylocke. Psylocke was played by Olivia Munn. Psylocke has been one of the Marvel's most iconic crushes for decades. And when Olivia Munn brought the character to life on screen, people immediately understood why Psylocke has such a huge fan base. Everything about the character seems cool. Dark hair, purple psychic energy, sharp eyes, athletic build, sleek purple battle outfit. Psylocke always looked visually striking the second she appeared on screen, and Olivia Munn fit the role physically perfectly. She had the sharp features, confident attitude, and graceful movement style that made Psylocke feel believable as this deadly psychic ninja warrior. The purple psychic blade effects looked awesome too. Every fight scene instantly became more visually interesting once Psylocke entered because the glowing purple energy stood out against everything around her. And Psylocke always carried herself with this calm, intimidating confidence. She didn't need long speeches or emotional breakdowns. The character's look and presence already did most of the work. That's part of what made her attractive. She felt mysterious. Plus, comic book fans already loved Psylocke long before the movies because Marvel designed her to be one of the coolest looking women in comic history. The ninja aesthetic mixed with telepath powers was unbeatable. And Olivia Munn's version captured that sleek, dangerous energy really well. Psylocke felt like somebody you absolutely should not mess with, which somehow made people like her even more. All right, next is Wanda Maximoff. Wanda Maximoff, played by Elizabeth Olsen. Scarlet Witch became one of the biggest Marvel crushes ever, once Marvel finally embraced the full comic book look. Played by Elizabeth Olsen, Wanda had this emotional, mysterious beauty that people connected with immediately. Long dark red hair, soft voice, big emotional eyes, pale skin, elegant features. She looked powerful and vulnerable at the same time. And honestly, WandaVision completely changed the character's popularity, because people got to see Wanda's personality more deeply. Suddenly, she wasn't just the girl with red magic. She became funny, emotional, romantic, tragic, terrifying, all at once. And visually, Scarlet Witch's final look became iconic. The crown, dark red outfit, the glowing magic effects around her hands. She looked amazing. Plus, Elizabeth Olsen naturally has this soft warmth to her performance style that makes Wanda feel emotionally human even while doing universe-breaking things. It's hard to pull off. One second you want to hug Wanda, next second she's mentally enslaving an entire town. Next we have Sharon Carter. Sharon Carter was played by Emily Van Camp. Sharon Carter had classic spy thriller beauty. By Emily Van Camp, Sharon had blonde hair, bright eyes, athletic build, and that polished secret agent appearance that fit perfectly into the Captain America side of Marvel. She looked believable in action scenes while still carrying elegance and charm. And honestly, Emily Van Camp naturally has that warm, approachable beauty that makes characters easy to root for. Sharon wasn't overly flashy. She just felt dependable and cool. The tactical outfits worked really well on her too, because she looked athletic and believable instead of overly stylized. And the grounded spy aesthetic from Winter Soldier really helped Sharon stand out visually. Next we have Storm. Storm was played by Halle Berry. Storm has been one of the Marvel's most beautiful and powerful women forever. And when Halle Berry played her in the X-Men movies, she instantly became one of the defining superhero crushes of the 2000s. Everything about Storm looked iconic. The long flowing white hair, glowing eyes, regal posture, dark leather X-Men outfits mixed with that goddess-like presence. She didn't walk into scenes normally, Storm arrived. And honestly, Halle Berry was perfect casting because she naturally carries herself with elegance and confidence. She always seemed calm, graceful, and completely in control no matter how chaotic things became around her. That energy matched Storm perfectly. Plus, visually, Storm's powers were always incredible on screen. Lightning effects, giant storms, powerful wind blasts, glowing skies. Every time Storm used her abilities, it felt cinematic, and the white hair contrasted so well with Halle Berry's features that the character immediately stood out from everybody else in the X-Men universe. Storm also had leadership energy. She carried herself like royalty, calm voice, powerful stare, controlled movements. Even standing next to Wolverine, Magneto, and Professor X, Storm still felt important and commanding. And to be for real, weather powers might secretly be some of the coolest powers in all of comics. Storm could literally summon hurricanes while still looking elegant doing it. That's hard to beat. All right, next we have Sue Storm. Sue Storm was played by Jessica Alba. For a whole generation, Jessica Alba was one of the biggest celebrity crushes on Earth. And as Sue Storm, that only got bigger. Blonde hair, glowing tan skin, bright smile, athletic figure. Jessica Alba perfectly matched the flashy, colorful energy of early 2000s superhero movies. She had that California sunshine look that was everywhere during that era. And honestly, Fantastic Four absolutely leaned into it. The blue superhero suits, the glamorous lighting, the action scenes, Jessica Alba constantly looked incredible on screen. Plus, she balanced the beauty with warmth, too. Sue never felt cold or arrogant. She felt caring and supportive while still looking like a supermodel. And then next we have Sue Storm, played by Kate Mara. Kate Mara brought a quieter, more grounded version of Sue Storm. Instead of the bright comic book glamour from Jessica Alba's version, Kate Mara's Sue felt more realistic and serious. She had softer natural beauty, blonde hair, expressive eyes, subtle style. Kate Mara always gives off intelligent, calm energy in her roles, and that fit this version of Sue really well. And honestly, her quieter performance helped balance out the darker tone of that Fantastic Four movie. Next we have Valkyrie. Valkyrie was played by Tessa Thompson. Valkyrie brought swagger to Marvel. Played by Tessa Thompson, Valkyrie had confidence pouring out of every scene. Dark hair, sharp eyes, athletic build, warrior armor. She instantly looked cool. And honestly, Tessa Thompson naturally carried herself with that relaxed confidence that made Valkyrie feel effortlessly charismatic. She walked around like somebody that had already survived 10 wars and didn't care what anybody thought. The energy made her stand out immediately in Thor Ragnarok. Plus, the armor and battle aesthetic looked awesome on her. The swords, the cape, the glowing Asgard visuals. Valkyrie always looked cinematic. And finally, Yelena Kaburva, played by Florence Pugh. Lorna had blonde hair, expressive eyes, cool accent, and this perfect mix of toughness and exhaustion that somehow made her incredibly likable. She looked believable as somebody raised to be an assassin. And honestly, Florence Pugh's charisma carried every scene she appeared in. Yelena felt funny, sarcastic, emotionally damaged, dangerous, and relatable all at once. The tactical outfits looked awesome too because Marvel leaned into a colder, more grounded spy aesthetic for her character. And physically, Yelena looked different from Natasha too. Natasha moved with smooth spy confidence while Yelena carried herself more aggressively and emotionally. That helped separate the characters. Also, her dry humor made her even more attractive. Marvel realized people love assassins that are tired of everybody's nonsense. So yeah, Marvel has given us some absolutely legendary crushes over the years. Whether you like the assassin confidence in Natasha, the chaos of Wanda, the goth energy of Magic, elegance of Emma Frost, or the sarcastic charm of MJ, there was somebody for everybody. And honestly, superpowers just make everybody hotter. That's science. Now I want to hear your Marvel crushes in the comments. Who was the most underrated? Who had the best look? And who completely distracted you from the plot every time they appeared on screen? If you enjoyed this episode of Hotties of a Show, make sure you like, subscribe, and stick around because we got plenty more nostalgic chaos on the way. Marvel may have saved the universe, but these women definitely stole the show. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.